Our top story this morning, parts of York and Lancaster counties are waking up to devastation this morning after severe storms slammed the area. We begin our team coverage with James Crummell. He is live in Columbia this morning. Good morning, James.
Good morning to you, Allie. Yes, Columbia is under a state of emergency after those powerful storms moved through the area pretty quickly, but leaving a lot of devastation behind. Take a look behind me at this building. This is the historic Keystone Fire Company. You can see the wall collapsed and the bricks landing right on the business next door. It's an official landmark here in Columbia, built in the 1800s. All across the area, power lines are down, roofs gone, and walls ripped off of buildings. Building owners are now calling their insurance companies, seeing if they can rebuild, and that includes the owner of the historic firehouse. He just spent a lot of money remodeling it, but he's keeping a positive attitude through it all.
There's a lot of blessings in life, right? It's all about your perspective. It's a building, right?
Absolutely a good attitude to have, but yeah, a lot of devastation to that building. So we'll stay tuned to see what happens with that. Meanwhile, just minutes away from where I'm standing across the river in York County, a lot of devastation there, including the roof blown off of Eastern York High School. Homes there are damaged as well. Seth Kaplan continues our team coverage from Lower Windsor Township.
Sounds of the cleanup hours after the sounds everyone's talking about.
The wind started basically screaming.
People, too. Good thing school here doesn't start until next Wednesday, or will it?
My son was excited to do like the morning announcements for school and start up.
Jeremiah Martinez, his mom, Cynthia Martinez.
He's autistic and he's hearing impaired. So it was going to be his first year doing it, and he was so stoked to do it. Now it might be, I guess, delayed. I'm not sure.
The Performing Arts Center here. Have you been inside there?
I have many times, yeah.
What's it like inside there, or at least what was it like?
Wonderful.
Not anymore, school leaders told us as they surveyed the damage to fields too, but nothing else quite like this. The adjacent middle school mostly spared. Damage everywhere highly localized. As the storm moved east, this home's roof blown off, windows blown in. Up the street, this.
I live in the middle, yeah.
Right next to this, or is it lived in the middle?
And I don't know if it's safe to live in there right now.
He wasn't home when all this happened. Michaela Del Giorno, her home maybe a couple hundred feet away, mostly untouched, was home with 3-year-old Aviana.
What happened, Aviana?
There's a monster.
A monster, she thinks. Grown-ups thought it might have been a tornado.
And that's when I knew it was just time to go down into the basement. You're never really trained on this kind of stuff in Pennsylvania necessarily.
But you knew about the basement.
Yeah. But definitely the surrounding houses took a big hit, and the high school right up there too. Pretty wild.
But again, very localized. Cynthia Martinez came to see the school because she heard about all the damage, not because she experienced much herself up the road in Hellam Township. She was with her mom, also named Cynthia, who was halfway between there and here, who showed us and told us what she saw and heard.
We give out food at Gateway Church. The damage and the wind and everything, it was really crazy.
And in some ways remained so.
And the power went out.
And stayed out as the sun set, with crews working late into the night to try to bring it back on. In York County, Seth Kaplan, ABC 27 News.
And our thanks to Seth for that incredible image there, especially coming from that school, which is about 10 minutes from where I'm standing across the river there in York County. But back here in Columbia, Lancaster County, there was a 10 o'clock curfew that started last night, which should be lifting this morning. Emergency officials just wanted people to be off the street so as they can go around and making sure that everything is okay. Now, we should also say that there were no serious injuries in all of that. So that is definitely the silver lining throughout all of this storm damage. I can also tell you the big question that remains, was this a tornado? A lot of people who live here think that it was, but of course, emergency officials and the National Weather Service, they will be out here today assessing all this damage to make an official determination. That is the story here in Columbia, Lancaster County. Allie, I'll send it back to you.
James, we talked about how isolated this damage appears to be. Behind you, it looks like, devastation at one building, and right next door, looks relatively unscathed. Is that the case, or are we just not seeing the damage to that building next to it?
No, that is absolutely the case. Let me get out of the way again so you can take a look at where this damage was at the fire station. The fire station, the wall collapsed, and there's a ceramic studio called the Broom Closet. That's the name of the business that's right next door. The bricks from that building fell onto the business here. But right next door, and the rest of this street, there's a post office that's next door. Everything else is just fine. So the storm basically, it hit some places and then moved away, and other places were unscathed. Again, that is part of what the National Weather Service is going to have to assess to figure out what type of storm that it actually was. But yeah, that is just the nature of how this storm was. And the same thing over in York County, a couple of minutes from where I'm standing. There are neighborhoods where homes were destroyed, but then right next door, the home was fine.
That, I'm sure, as you said, will be of interest to the National Weather Service later this morning. All right, thank you so much. James Crummell, live in Lancaster County this morning.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27, and we're excited to announce the new ABC 27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC 27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home, and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the home page, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC 27. Move over to the apps, and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.